Hello students, in this video let us discuss projectile motion. If the particle has some initial motion in a direction which do not coincide with the direction of the force acting on the particle performs a projectile motion. For an example, if a stone is thrown exactly in vertical direction, what will happen is that its velocity will go on decreasing and the velocity will become 0 at the point of maximum height. Thereafter it will start its downward motion, but the entire motion will be along a straight line. Whereas instead of throwing the stone in upward direction, if I throw it at an inclination to the horizontal, so let a stone or this particle is thrown or it has given a certain initial velocity at an angle theta to the horizontal. What will happen is that it will perform a parabolic motion and it is called as a projectile motion. Now, why it performs a parabolic motion? In order to explain it, let us divide or let us resolve this velocity into two components, the horizontal and the vertical component. The vertical component is u sin theta. Now it is subjected to gravitational acceleration which is acting in downward direction. So because of that acceleration, the vertical component goes on decreasing, it becomes 0 at the point of maximum height. And thereafter its direction gets reversed and it goes on increasing again because of the gravitational acceleration and becomes maximum at this point B. Whereas if we consider the horizontal component, the only resistance is the air resistance, but if we neglect the air resistance, the horizontal component is not resisted by any force and it is not subjected to any acceleration. As such, the horizontal component remains constant throughout the motion of the projectile. So what you should remember is that the vertical component of velocity changes. For the first half, it goes on decreasing, it becomes 0 at the maximum height. Thereafter its direction gets reversed and it goes on increasing again because of the gravitational acceleration, whereas the horizontal component remains constant. Now while studying the projectile motion, few more terms are to be explained. First term is time of flight. Time of flight is the time for which the projectile remains in air. Second, the range. Range is the horizontal distance between the point of projection and the point where the projectile lands. Means from this is point O is called as point of projection and the point B is called as point of landing. The horizontal distance between these two is called as the range. And the third term which is to be defined is the maximum height. Maximum height is the vertical distance between the point of projection and the point of maximum height. So which is denoted by h max. Now, while studying the projectile motion, first we should understand the path of the projectile, which is also called as trajectory of the projectile, and our interest will be in getting the equation of this trajectory. So in order to get the equation of this trajectory, what I am doing is that I am considering an intermediate position of the projectile, say P. At certain instant t, let the projectile or this particle it is at position P, and in order to attain this position P, let it has covered a horizontal distance x, that is along the x direction, and the vertical distance y along the y direction. Now in order to get the equation of the trajectory, I am considering these two motions, that is the vertical motion OP and the horizontal motion OP separately. So vertical motion OP and horizontal motion OP, I am considering them separately. Vertical displacement, that is why, will be because of the vertical component of velocity, whereas the horizontal displacement will be because of horizontal component of velocity. So let us consider the vertical motion separately. Vertical motion OP using S is equal to ut plus half at square. S, that is the vertical displacement, is nothing but y. U, now again as we are dealing with vertical motion, u means the vertical initial velocity which is u sin theta into t plus 1 half. A is nothing but the gravitational acceleration, but as it is directed downwards and the component of velocity is upwards, it should be treated as negative. So it will be minus 1 half into g into t square. Let it be equation 1. Similarly, if we consider horizontal motion and if we use the same equation, s is equal to ut plus half at square, s, that is horizontal displacement, will be equal to x from O to P. So x is equal to u, the horizontal component of velocity is u cos theta, into t. The acceleration is absent for horizontal motion, and that is why next term will be 0 and it will not exist over there, and that is why if I rearrange the equation, I can get t is equal to x upon u cos theta. So let it be equation number 2. Now if I substitute the value of t over here in equation number 1, I will be getting the equation of trajectory, which is of the form y is equal to x tan theta minus gx square divided by 2u square cos square theta. So this equation is called as equation of trajectory. Now if we observe this equation, x tan theta gx square 2u square cos square theta, in this equation theta, it can be considered as a constant, then u, it can be considered as a constant because it is the initial velocity. So y is a function of x and x square, and in this equation, as x square, that is degree of x is 2, it simply indicates that it is an equation of parabola, and that is why trajectory of a projectile is parabola. Now second term which I want to explain is the time of flight. Time of flight, as I defined it as, it is the time for which the projectile remains in air. Now in order to get the time of flight, that is the time taken by the projectile to cover the distance from O to B along that parabolic path, I am considering only the first half part, that is OA. So consider vertical motion from O to A. I am considering the vertical motion from O to A, and I am using the first equation of kinematics, v is equal to u plus at. V is the final velocity. Final velocity, as I am considering the motion from O to A, final velocity at A, as it is the vertical motion, so vertical final velocity at A, it is 0, is equal to u is the initial vertical velocity, u sin theta, minus g into t, and t is equal to u sin theta upon g. It is the time required to attain the position A. So if I consider it the path as symmetric, then the total time of flight from O to B, if O and B are on the same horizontal level, now remember the condition, O and B are on the same horizontal level, then time of flight is equal to 2t, that is equal to 2u sin theta upon g. So it is an expression for time of flight if the point of projection and point of landing are on the same horizontal level. Next term is maximum height. Maximum height, that is the vertical distance between the point of projection and the topmost point on the path. Now in order to get the maximum height, consider vertical motion from O to A. So I am considering vertical motion from O to A, and I am using the equation v square is equal to u square plus 2as. Now again, as I am dealing with the vertical motion OA, the vertical component of velocity at the final position, that is A, will be 0. So instead of v square, it will be 0, u square sin square theta. Now the vertical component, initial velocity is u, square of it means u square sin square theta minus 2g into s is nothing but h max, and this formula or this equation will give you the formula h max is equal to u square sin square theta upon 2g. So it is the formula for maximum height. Now the horizontal range. Horizontal range is the horizontal distance between the point of projection and the point of landing, and in order to get this range, I am considering the horizontal motion from O to B and using s is equal to ut plus half at square. S is nothing but r, so it is r. U is the horizontal component of velocity, u cos theta, into t. We know the value of t, which is equal to 2u sin theta upon g. So it is 2u sin theta upon g is that value, and therefore r is equal to u square into 2 sin theta cos theta, so which is nothing but u square sin 2 theta upon g. So this formula gives you the horizontal range, and remembering these formulae, we can work out the problems. Again, in case of certain another problems where the straight values are not given, we can always use these basics to analyze the problems of projectiles. Thanks.